Good morning, Lewis. I'm Brandon Jarrett with Christian Clover. Thank you for joining us this early morning.
Good morning, Flyers. We hope you are enjoying the fall weather as we begin to wrap up October.
It's almost Halloween.
I know it's almost Halloween. What are you doing?
I'm going to dress up, eat a lot of candy.
Are you? How many
Yeah.
costumes? You're just doing one?
I think I'll do one and I'll just reuse it how many times I go out.
What are you going to be?
I don't know. I'm between Spider-Man, Batman, or The Flash.
Got it. I'm doing 2 costumes and I'm kind of nervous about it because I still have not ordered my other costume yet. So I'm waiting for it to come in, but I'm also excited.
What are you going to be?
The one was going to be like a German kind of girl. The other one, I don't know. Oh, the other one was going to be Belle with my friends because she was going to be Snow White and Cinderella, but I don't know yet because I haven't got the costume and I need to order it. So I don't know if it's going to come in on time.
All right, let's start by checking out the latest trending topics. A little drum roll for our latest trending topics here.
I know.
I'm excited to see what we picked out. So this first one here, this one is mine. When I'm playing a horror game and it starts to get scary. I like horror games, but like I want to play when someone's sitting next to me and early in the morning.
Got it. See, I like horror movies. I was never like a video game person. Like my parents never put me into it, but I love like the 70s, 80s horror movies.
I like the low budget horror movies.
Me too. Me too.
have some
All the ones that
personality.
come out now, I just can't take seriously.
I know. And on to our next tweet.
So I feel like this is everybody. I feel like this applies more for girls. So that's what I was going to ask you. Are boys paranoid about this kind of stuff too? Because every time I see like an old lady, it could be a young man, it could be anybody, I lock that car door. I don't want them near me.
Depends what neighborhood I'm in and what the person looks like.
Oh, it doesn't matter, the neighborhood. Even here on Lewis University, once I'm in my car, don't run to my car because it's going to be locked.
And on to our next tweet. Exactly 30 years ago, the 3 movies were in theaters at the same time. So it's Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, and Forrest Gump. These are like 3 classic movies.
I didn't know that.
And for them to all be released like at the same time is kind of crazy.
You know they're making Forrest Gump too?
Are they?
They are.
Is it like his son? Or?
It is his son, and I think it has Tom Hanks in it again, and it's supposed to be like, I think his son grown up. But don't quote me on it, but I know that they are making it, and I don't know when it comes out.
I feel like they shouldn't.
Yeah.
It was such a good movie the first time, and I feel like doing it again is either going to ruin the legacy or people just aren't going to like it.
I don't know. I feel like if there was a really good director that was doing it like Steven Spielberg quality, I think it could come out okay. But we'll have to see.
And on to our next tweet.
This one was my favorite one because I feel like we can all relate to this at this age, the bi-weekly pay, because I know that first week I am spending money like I'm a millionaire, and then that second week, that is the meals that I'm eating, if anything. It's like a lot of cereal and grilled cheese and PB&J, and yeah.
This is where I'm at right now.
Are you a budgeter or are you a good
No,
saver?
I suck at saving.
You do?
If I'm bored, I'll go out and spend money.
Yeah, no, I am the same way as well. I do not budget. I need to budget. My parents and I have been like arguing about this for 3 years. I need to work on the budgeting.
All right, and then on to our TikToks here. I'm gonna need it to play again.
What was that?
You gotta watch it again.
Oh.
I've always wanted to do this, and this encouraged me more to go play this little bubble soccer game.
Those kind of remind me of the things that you get in, like you roll. Do you remember those when you were little?
Like the big one?
Yeah, I loved those. I loved those.
I did one time in Mexico, and it was like above water. So like the whole thing was enclosed.
Really?
And you're in the water, and then people like surround it, and they were just like pushing it. And
Yeah, no, I haven't done one of those. I've never done one of those either. Like I said, I've only been in like the big ones that you roll up in the backyard and roll down the hill.
I think I'm gonna do this now.
My TikTok was,
See, it's these little rocks right here that can mess up your tire real bad. But got it. Much better.
this is how I feel like doing all of my homework assignments. Like, you know, I'm a really bad procrastinator. I really am, and I'm trying to work on it. So it's like, that's like when I get through one thing, but then it's like, oh, I have a bunch left to do. But you know what? At least you're still doing it. At least you're working your way through it and getting through it.
The guy, like you could hear him heavy breathing. That means he like flipped that thing over, got out, and his first thought was to film a TikTok.
You know what? At least he has a plan. At least he's trying something. Doing something's better than doing nothing, right?
I guess so. Next up, we'll share some feel-good stories sure to brighten your day. Life. Betty Miller has become a beacon of light in her community, one dance move at a time. Her community says her happiness is contagious. Every weekday morning and afternoon, parents and students look forward to her crossing her path. Community members say the 74-year-old also gives rides to moms who need it when the bus is late.
Japanese toy maker Mega House was rolling out a Rubik's Cube so small that you need tweezers to play it. If you're interested in buying one, be prepared to pay big, $5,000 to be exact. It's about the size of a few grains of rice, with each side measuring about 5 millimeters. And yes, it does actually work. It's made with such delicate parts that if you shake it roughly like a normal Rubik's Cube, there's a possibility that parts might come off. To play with the Rubik's Cube, you need a pair of tweezers and a lot of patience at over $5,000. This tiny cube is more of a collector's item, with delivery is rolling out in April.
It's time to celebrate one of our favorite heart-healthy foods. Today is National Nuts Day. From peanuts to pecans to pistachios, every nut variety has nutritious benefits. Not only are they rich in minerals and vitamins, they're high in protein, which helps you feel fuller longer. They're also packed with healthy, unsaturated fats, which can help lower your cholesterol. One study showed that people who ate nuts lived 2 to 3 years longer than those who didn't. That's a good reason to reach for nuts instead of junk food when you're feeling snackish. And if you're hungry for a meal instead, try tossing some yogurt for breakfast, or on a salad for lunch, or on a savory dinner dish. However you choose to celebrate the day, don't forget to share using the hashtag National Nut Day. Up next, we'll show you what's new at Lewis U. Stay tuned.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
I'm here with Mayfield Township Collector and candidate for the Will County Coroner, Robert Enright. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us what inspired you to pursue a career in forensics and become a coroner for Will County.
I am a 23-year funeral director in Balmer, and the funeral home I'm with is in 2 different counties, and so we have to work with the different coroner's offices, Grundy County and Will County, and they're a little bit night and day, so working with Will County is a little frustrating for funeral homes and for families as well, so that's what predicated me to get into this race to streamline processes and make things easier for people of Will County.
For sure. And again, you said over 20 years, right? So yeah, no, you definitely have a lot of passion behind your campaign. What are the primary responsibilities of being Will County Coroner?
Some of the primary responsibilities to be Will County Coroner. The coroner and the sheriff are the only constitutional law enforcement in the whole country. Everybody else is hired or appointed. So they're the ones that are directly responsible to the people through direct elections. Coroner is the only one that can arrest the sheriff, fun fact. The coroner, if the sheriff is unable to perform their duties, the coroner would take over as the acting sheriff and the acting warden of the county jail. They're also the statutory conservator of the peace, so when acting in that capacity, the coroner does have the full powers of the sheriff. So that's the law enforcement legal side of things. What the main job of the coroner's office, and all deaths in a county fall under the office of the coroner, and it's medical legal death investigation. The medical legal death investigation will determine the cause and the manner of death and place of death, and then if it's a coroner certificate, then the coroner will issue a death certificate for that case.
Got it. Got it. That is, again, very interesting. And I didn't even know until this morning that the coroner was the one who arrested the sheriff, if that was ever needed to be. So that is an interesting thing to know. What role do you say that you play kind of in the community as well?
The coroner's role in the community? So the coroner's role in the community, what I would like to focus on is transparency, number one. A lot of times the current administration will just put out as a brief, so-and-so passed away at this place and this time,
right,
pending investigation. What never really happens is any type of follow-up or update on those cases. And there's a lot of cases even now that the public would like to know what exactly happened, and we never get that type of follow-up. So that's one major thing that I want to make sure, within the bounds of privacy and stuff like that.
No,
as
for
well.
sure, but I'm sure you'd help so many families and stuff like that, again, because you are right, that does happen way too often. Is it similar to the election process for other positions, would you say, running for the coroner for the Will County? So is it similar, like president, Congress? How does it vary for you?
So for a coroner, it would be the same way. You have to get signatures on a petition to get on the ballot, and then you have to go through a primary process, and then you get to the general. The only elected officials that do have to have any kind of qualifications are a state's attorney candidate or a judge. You need to be a lawyer, but any other lay person could run for any position. Usually you would have to have some sort of background or expertise where you're going into running for some sort of position, but it's not necessarily required.
For sure. So again, you already kind of went into your 20 years running in the funeral business and stuff like that. What other kind of forensic pathology background do you have, or just background in any other related fields?
Just a 23-year funeral director and an embalmer as well. When I become a coroner, there are a few things I would like to instruct the pathologists on, and the way they do their autopsies that would make it a lot easier on the embalmers that have to care for those individuals afterwards. It's just a matter of certain ways they do it without getting into graphic detail here. In the morning might be a little much for this morning, but those are some of the things that I want to do when I get in there.
For sure. What would you say that some of the biggest pros and cons are for you personally, or just in general?
So for this campaign, the biggest pro is meeting so many wonderful people across the county, because this is a county-wide. And if you've never driven Will County,
it is huge, all the way from like Wilmington to Lamont.
Yes, and especially from Naperville, Wheatland area, all the way down to Beecher. I mean, that's a long drive, even on the interstate. So, but meeting people is great. Acquaintances that become good friends in this campaign. We've been doing this for over a year now. One of the disadvantages of this industry is people looking at families having regrets because they maybe got an argument with their sister and they haven't talked to their sister for 20 years, or haven't talked to dad for a long time because of whatever reason, and now they're gone, and now they have those regrets. So in this job, it really focuses your humanity.
For sure.
And I would encourage anybody to go ahead and squash any of those old beefs that you have with anybody.
I'm sure.
Because you never know.
Yeah.
And do it before it's too late, because you're never going to get them back.
Right, and I'm sure you have so much perspective like that, and it's so true that life is so short. So I completely agree. I actually heard that you did an autopsy recently that was very interesting. Do you want to talk about that? I know you do a lot, but
yes. So I am not a pathologist, so I don't actually do the autopsies.
I have heard of Yes,
but I do embalm. So the recent one, and it really hit home. It was a young lady. She 15 years old, a fentanyl overdose. She was with her boyfriend, and they were partying, and and the whole time, I have a daughter that's 17.
Right.
So, and while I'm caring for this young lady, I was just kind of devastated for her and her family. And I went home and I took a shower, and I just hugged my daughter so tight, and she's like, "Dad, what's wrong?" I was like, "I just want to hold you, that's all," because it's too young, it's an epidemic, and when I become coroner, I want to work toward the preservation of life. I know it's a little hyperbolic, but I want to bring the coroner's numbers down to 0. I know that's not going to happen.
No, but it's a great mission for your campaign. And again, that is just so heart touching, especially when you have a daughter, and it's so scary that this is, again, like it's increasing like this. On a lighter note, though, I did hear that you were having a coroner's Halloween party that was coming up. I want to hear about that. How is that going?
The campaign, as you campaign, you do fundraisers, and I also am a sound engineer for bands and DJ on the side. So what we're doing is a campaign Halloween party. It's a costume party. It's for all ages. Families can come out. And that is at Joliet Town and Country Bowling Alley, Town and Country Lanes. And this Friday, 7 o'clock. And we're going to have karaoke, because everybody likes to do some karaoke.
Right.
We're going to have some zombie races. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be free food. So we're going to do decorations. And I was listening to your segment earlier about Halloween costumes.
All right, I was going to say, what's your costume?
Usually I do this, I do a zombie like every other year. And then when I'm doing a zombie, I usually try to do a different type of wound.
Got it.
So as a funeral director and embalmer, I do hair and makake and nails and all that stuff. So I also work with latex too. So I do latex wounds and a bunch of different things. So,
interesting.
Yeah, I haven't figured out which one I'm going to do this year, but I've had some good ones.
Are you on the wounds this year, or are you on the actual costume this year?
I'm going to be in the zombie costume.
You're going to be the zombie this year. Got it. Well, where can we hear a little bit more about your campaign or your mission, or where can we find you for Will County Coroner?
The easiest place to go to my website is nwrightforcoroner.com. Also on the socials, nwrightforcoroner, so you can go. You can find out more fun facts about the Office of Coroner, and some information about myself, my family. There's pictures of my family, some of my career accomplishments, and the things that I want to do for the office once I'm elected Will County Coroner.
For sure. Well, thank you again so much for joining us on Good Morning Lewis, and stay tuned.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
What are you looking for?
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Well, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Good Morning Lewis.
Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you again next week.